Great. Okay, so welcome. We're recording now. Thanks again for doing this. And hopefully we'll make this a really powerful session for you. So you've filled out the initial consultation form, and you also filled out the life balance form as well. And that kind of looks at you as a holistic person. So it takes into account your well-being, your physical self, your spiritual self, your emotions, and you rate on a scale of 0 to 10, how satisfied you are in each area of your life, and what kind of improvements you want to make in that area. And for you, I think the theme in your life has been around relationships, hasn't it? And that was the thing you said you wanted to improve the most. Is that right?
And not just kind of, sexual relationships or love it, whatever you call
it. Intimate ones.
Relationships, I guess, with my children as well, and yeah.
It's the whole cliche thing, isn't it? The relationship has to start internally.
Yeah.
Then everything externally changes.
Yeah.
And I picked up on some good points that you made, especially with your children. And it made me think of the small changes that you could possibly start to make, just to start to make those ripple effects happen, those little shifts start to happen. But we'll see where this session takes us.
Yeah.
Now, as I said in the beginning, I work slightly differently. So you can call me a spiritual coach, holistic coach. Basically, I'm passionate about our energy fields.
Yeah.
Thankfully, science now proves that we have this electromagnetic field. We're pretty much all made of energy. And I work with your energy field. So the conscious mind runs on 5%, the subconscious is 95%. So that's the conscious mind that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
The part of you that's had all these experiences that you've forgotten about, but it still holds the memory of it.
Yeah.
So when I tune in, I use a pendulum and a system I've created, which basically looks into what's happening in your life now, where the blockage is or where the emotion is that's causing the blockage. And with the emotion, it's energy and motion, that is what can be on repeat. And we kind of tend to get stuck in a loop.
Yeah.
Consciously, we know, I don't like this, but I don't know what to do about it. And it's like that hamster on the wheel, that cycle of relationship issues, and you're like, when the hell am I going to get off it? And it's funny, isn't it? Because we know we don't like it. So why can't we just get off it and be the person that we want to be? If you think about it like that, it's like, why can we not make those changes? It's because something inside is left unspoken, unhealed. The energy is still being held in place, and we feed that energy by repeating the same. So it's like a holding pattern we're in.
Yeah.
So this type of work is to try and help you see you, all of you, and you can make those shifts internally so you can start to get off that hamster wheel. Now, the emotion that I picked up on in the root chakra is kind of opened between 0 to 7. And I know that was a question on your life balance. Tell me your kind of story, what was happening in your life, your foundations basically between 0 to 7. Yeah. And I get an emotion here of a dependency. And we are dependent on others for our survival, especially between those ages of 0 to 7. But that can play out, and just with what you've been saying about the relationships, not wanting to be dependent on other people, but wanting other people. It seems that there's just this emotion here that just needs a little bit of clarification. So it's not playing out in this way. What do you think about that emotion that's presented itself of dependency?
It's very ambiguous, isn't it? If you know what I mean. So, it has got that push-pull into it, So, You want it, you don't, you're fine without it, you do, you know, it's that becomes a little bit frustrating, I think, you know, and I suppose I've always been quite fiercely independent in some respects, but at the same time, you know, I've cried on the floor type of thing, you know, wanting to be a partnership with someone and have that somebody looking after me as well as me looking after others, if that makes sense. So it is hard. It's because it's just push-pull all the time, you know.
What would be your fear around dependency?
Loss, I would imagine. Being hurt, not being what they said they would be, maybe. Yeah, something like that, perhaps.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a survival thing, isn't it? You know, this absolute vulnerable side of us that can have been crushed at some point and not been able to cope with that. The fight or flight system has gone, never again. Am I experiencing that?
Yeah.
What would happen if someone, what's the fear around somebody becoming dependent on you?
I don't feel I have got the depth and capacity to really care for someone else. I don't quite know how to care for me. How I could look after somebody else is just beyond me.
Yeah,
you know, feels beyond my capabilities type of thing.
That's really powerful what you just said. How do you feel like owning that?
It's upsetting, isn't it? You know, so yeah, it is, because I suppose, you know, my mum with Alzheimer's, and I just couldn't do it. You know, I couldn't quite look after my children. You know, because I just the coping skills of it and that inability to manage my own stuff. So it's still quite painful, I guess.
It's really deep and it's really powerful. And you just expressing that and acknowledging that, you know, that in itself starts to bring awareness and insight into your own cycle of behavior. And do you recognize this as a belief?
It's hard with beliefs, isn't it? Because it feels very true. So when you,
it's got to be true. It's got to be true.
true, I haven't got that capacity, you know. So yes, it's very much a belief. Yeah. And I would say it's up there with the, you know, 90%, you know, maybe 95. So it's it's quite.
You're absolutely right. Beliefs have to be true. Otherwise, what are we going to do without them?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to have to change our life without those beliefs. Like, you know, we've got to start again and become something new without that belief. Do you want to keep hold of it?
There's a part of me that does, yes, because that's that thing about keeping safe, isn't it? You know, but actually, I'd rather just let it go, because it's too limiting. You know, it's far too limited. It's limited me for many years. You know, so yeah, it'd be nice to just do away with that one, to be fair.
What I've found with myself and with clients and with us as in general, obviously this is quite a general statement. It's not going to be true for everybody. But when we've got these really deep-seated beliefs that have been born through pain, through trauma, through fear, etc., and we keep hold of these beliefs and we live our life according to these beliefs and we make them true wherever we can, to keep them there. A part of us finds it difficult to let them go because there's a void. Who am I going to be without this belief? Like, oh my God. And we kind of cling on like a drowning rat, a drowning puppy, like trying to cling on to the side of a pool, but these beliefs are actually drowning our potential and drowning our true self. But we'll try and cling on for dear life because we don't know who we are without them. Would that resonate with you?
Yeah, it does. Part of it just does define you, doesn't it? I think as you were talking as well, I was thinking a little bit about can't remember.
That was because it was really bloody insightful. Hate it when that happens.
Oh my God, my head's just gone
Call
blank.
it back, just call it back.
I can't quite remember, but it was something along that kind of thing of, you know, I've needed that, because when I was younger, it was always there's something wrong with me, because I always felt a little bit ADHD, and I'm pretty sure I am ADHD. So I always felt very, very different to everybody around me, you know. So I think it pulls on that little string of, you know, there's something wrong with you. So, you know, then why would you have the capacity to care for another when there's something deeply, you know, wrong with you as a person, type of thing, you know?
Yeah. Is there a fear around fully being seen for who you are and not being accepted for who you are then?
Used to be, yeah. So, but you're talking, you know, yeah, for 30, 35, 40 years, I suppose. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, but that's definitely got much easier and better type of thing.
So did you never feel accepted for being you? Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, not for a long, long time, yeah. I don't think I really accepted myself until I was probably mid-40, you know, a few years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can salute
Yeah.
to that as well. God, yeah. Life's just one big bloody roller coaster ride, isn't it?
Yeah. I
But I think,
think probably here in my 40s, and in
yeah,
my any day for our felt, and, you know, and our, you know, all this kind
absolutely.
of.
That's it. I mean, when we're in our 40s, we're coming up to the throat and the heart chakra, you know. So it's hopefully we start to come into alignment at that age. It's where another kind of midlife crisis can come in around the age of 42, and astrologically that's not a true statement, but in astrology we have something that brings up whether we're in alignment with the true self or not. So around about the ages of 40 to 50, we want to start questioning who we are. Am I being authentic in my life? So it's great, and it's absolutely brilliant that you recognize that at that age, because that we shift, don't we, through our life. In our 20s, things that were important to us then aren't so important to us now. We just go through these cycles in life, you know. We see it in teenagers. They want, and we have all this great advice because we've been there, and it's not important to us now, but then it's very important. So if this energy, this emotion of dependency, and you not wanting to be dependent on others, you don't want others to be dependent on you, if it had roots, where would it stem back to? You can close your eyes to this if you want and just take a minute just to...
I suppose it's probably daddy issues, really, you know. So he was just not really around, and my other two sisters didn't kind of feel the loss of him at all, but I did. So I would say it's more like 12. I think there was something about being 12 that started making me question everything, and really missing having a father figure there, and kind of thinking at 12 that life is shit, you know. That kind of way, yeah. And yeah, so I would say 12, around 12. Yeah.
So your dad left when you were what, 5, was it?
5, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you remember that situation?
No, Mum was quite good at kind of keeping things away from us and stuff. To be fair, there was just one thing that, you know, where they had a bit of a bargy, but that was it. You know, she was really good, and she never said a bad word about him. You know, so now we were very kind of, you know, kind of safe around that. I just missed him. So I didn't miss him at that point between 5 and 12. Not really. Life was quite cool. You just played out in the streets, and, you know, you had nothing. You didn't have a pot to piss in, but it was great. So
Yeah.
there was something about being 12 that just kind of, yeah.
What, and you just felt there's not that figure to turn to type of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. What belief do you think that situation installed in you?
Probably something like, why didn't he want us? Why didn't he want me? But, possibly. Why isn't he around for me? I need you.
What on the back of that, like that thought, like, why isn't he around for me? Like, what's wrong with me that he's not here? What supporting belief did you make about yourself?
Not lovable, probably.
Yeah, I'm not lovable, and that's pretty much what our bottom beliefs come down to, not being lovable, and it's the biggest one that bloody fucks with us.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, and then we build our life on that belief then, and then we'll look for things that'll affirm it, or we'll try and heal it through the wrong avenues. So yeah, when we were talking earlier, what was your relationship to your dad, by the way? Because you've got sisters, haven't you?
Yeah.
Where were you in the pack?
Middle.
Okay, and what was your relationship like with him that you remember?
He just, so he had a chippy and he had another family with 3 kids. Literally as soon as we split up, he met somebody else. So we had 3 children as well. So he had us 3 and then another 3. So sometimes he would pick us up and take us to a Greek restaurant, or take us to his auntie, and then we'd go and stay with him maybe for a few days in the summer. Very, very few and far between.
Yeah. What about when you were about 5, just before he left?
No memories.
No memories of that. Yeah, okay. When we were talking earlier about, letting go of the belief and then stepping into this new belief, this new affirmation that we want to make, because that's all it is. The belief is like, it's just as a repetitive thought that creates a feeling, and that's on the loop, and then it becomes like connected in our brain. So to form new beliefs, we have to step into something that we believe is true. We can't just make it up and not believe it. It's not going to stick. But we need to step into something that feels comfortable, that we can go, yeah, that works. I can try that on. That works. Yeah, but I could believe in that. If you were to think about, in fact, if it's all right with you, I use these like interactive cards. They're like parts therapy cards. I'm just going to choose one. It'll be just a picture, just to see if you can, just to see if it helps with this belief. What does that can you see that?
Just up a bit. Yeah.
What does that represent to you?
The whole of my life.
And what does this one represent to you?
Maybe that kind of like that push-pull thing, possibly. Maybe the creativity is something, but I can't quite pull on it. I don't know what, but it feels like the push-pull. Maybe with the creative side, and maybe with the other side that's closed, if you know what I mean. Possibly.
So that one represented your life that you're up to now, and then that one, it's quite polar opposite, isn't it? I'll send you a picture of these after. So this one is an artist, a girl, and she's getting messy. She's got a guitar there. She's got books. She's got paint. She's got music on the floor, and she's just painting this like ballerina. And I don't know if you can notice the two faces, the mask. It's called something that I don't know what it's called. Whereas,
Or drawn to that.
oh yeah,
Picture, to be quite honest, yeah.
What's that speaking to you about?
About the push-pull bit, I think, you know what I mean? Yeah.
My take on it for you is what we're saying about how do we create a new belief? Like, what's life going to look like? To me, that's starting to say, get creative with you coming out of this cycle that you've been in, this tornado that you've been in.
Yeah.
How do we creatively open up that self-expression, that girl who just doesn't care really, she's just in the flow, like she's creating for the fun of it, for the joy of it, for the love of it. She doesn't care that there's mess around her. She's trying different things, music, painting. She's got stuff spilling over in the bin, but you know, she's just getting on with it and she's just loving it. And then the two masks is the laughing face and the smiling face. So it's like the push pull. But you could almost say like the frowning face would be coming from the tornado, and then it's putting the happy mask on.
Yeah.
But that's my interpretation of it. What do you think?
Yeah, it could. That fits. The tornado is feels self-explanatory, doesn't it? You know, and actually, I do look for creative things, but I don't tend to have time. I hate even saying that. I do hate saying that because I realise that you know, my time's a little bit limited. You know, so it is something I'd like to do more of, but just don't seem to get myself out there and do it. You know.
What would you do if you had the time?
I would do the 5 rhythms dance.
Oh,
I would do the clay thing that I've been on the waiting list for in Baltimore for like months and months. And I would also do something else, the singing choir.
So, oh, wow, get you.
I'm trying to learn the ukulele, but I'm shy at it.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so it's little things I think like that, but I just don't then seem to go out and do it because time is a little bit limited. Yeah.
Okay, so what would you do out of all them? Like, which one of those things like fills you more with joy?
I suppose actually I can't sing for toffee, it's horrendous, but I still love it. But I do love the 5 rhythm dance, but I could never quite let myself go when I went last time, you see. So I tried it out, it was a good few years ago, and I loved it, but I hated it at the same time. The discomfort of just letting yourself go was just so difficult. So I'd really love to try that again to see if I'm a bit freer than what I was back then, you know. So actually, I think it's more the dancing than the others.
I'm picking up on the dancing with you. Definitely the 5 rhythm dance.
Yeah.
What is the opportunity for you to just go into a class?
It's a bit limited because, well, there's the one in Liverpool is a Monday and it's, you know, it's like 6 o'clock or something, and I work a few nights till 8 o'clock, you see. It's a pain in the arse. So yeah, it's a little bit limited. I'm sure there's possibly other classes though, maybe. So, you know, that would just be a case of looking into it really. So, okay. Yeah.
So I know when you said about on your life balance sheet that because it's one of the questions is how motivated are you to move forward in your life, and you were like an 8 out of 10. How, if I was to give you a challenge, or you were to set yourself a little goal, and it was to be to go to a class,
It's making me feel sick.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because it's been doing me head and I've been wanting to do it for so long and not doing it, you know what I mean? So yeah.
And there's a reason for that. Like, you know, when I talk about energy, your body is like, we need to do this. We need to let loose. We need to go free. We need to break free.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So just getting back to that belief and that kind of tornado picture, we know what that looks like. Like, you are an expert in doing that. But just tell me about the person that you want to become. If you were just to imagine putting that down, that belief around not being fully supportive to people, not being enough, not being able to depend on other people, not being lovable, or in fact being able to love, not being able to connect on the level that you want to connect in. If you were just to like put that in a bowl and just put it on the settee and just imagine it out your body, sitting next to you. Yeah, you could energetically just imagine just kind of...
My water bottle dropped when you said that.
No way. Okay, so just... Spooky. I love it. Just imagine then, right, I'm going to get you to close your eyes, okay? I'm just going to get you just to tune in, just to take some breaths, just focus on the center of your being through your heart. And you can just reach out and touch that water bottle if you want, or just energetically imagine. And water bottles are great. They're like containers. Don't know if it's got water in it or not, but it's, you know, water is emotion. It's a great carrier. Just imagine all of those beliefs. Just for now, you can pick them back up later. Just imagine them just pouring out your hand and just going into that bottle where they can stay safe. Just let them all go. I know it's going to feel weird and some will want to stay, but just tell them it's okay, because they can come back. They're not gone forever. They're just going to have a little rest in this container for a minute, and that's okay. And then when you feel like they've filtered into this bottle and they're not in you anymore, just give me a little nod. Okay. Now just move that bottle away from you. Just push it to the side, just so its energy is not connected to yours so much. Okay, and then I just want you to, in relation to where you're sitting now, get an image of this woman that you want to become, that's living the life that she wants to live. She's doing the dancing, she's maybe even doing the singing, but she's doing what she wants, basically. She's creating her life like an artist. She's got the relationships to a level where it feels comfortable, and they're growing every day. She's appreciating her body more and more. She's waking up and she's feeling more in love and in control of life, of herself, of her emotions. There's just something happening to her brain where she's starting to wake up and feel inspired with life. And people are commenting on the way that she's being, this new energy that she's found. And people are magnetized, they're loving it. Just her simple presence in the company of others has a huge effect on their well-being and their happiness. She doesn't even have to do anything. When you get a sense of that person, however that shows itself to you, just tell me exactly what's happening.
Do you know what? I've got to be honest.
I
feel like a lot of that is actually happening already.
Amazing.
And you don't realise that, do you? I think. Do you know what I mean? I already feel a lot of that person. But with a freer mind. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not enclosed, and my heart feels a little bit just more free. that's the way, the kinds of thing that comes to mind is just like a freedom. It's just a sense of freedom. Yeah.
I love it. And that's what I get. I feel like your mind just wants to, you've got so much inside you that is just absolutely delightful. And it's like sunshine, it's like flowers blooming, that there's just this burst of it. I don't know the word for it, but there's just this burst that wants to happen within you. For that to happen, you need to feel safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about this heart opening that you want to experience. If you were seeing yourself having that, just imagine it being a movie.
Yeah.
What would you call the movie if you were trying to say to me, look, this is my life now? And I said, well, give me a movie title then so I understand. What would the movie title be when your heart's open and your mind is free?
Dancing with the Angels.
Oh God, I love it. I love that.
Yeah. Mm.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that person you become when you are in that movie Dancing with the Angels. What happens to you physically?
There's just an absolute lightness. There's just a kind of an openness to life.
Yeah.
And within that, it's just being kind of open to experiences and open to whatever's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But you know, I also kind of see, I don't know, just closer, just, you know, but people dancing with me. Do you know what I mean? Maybe not dancing on my own, because I feel like I've danced on my own all my life. If you know. So, yeah, there's an element of maybe people dancing with me rather than just being on my own. Yeah.
When you see that happening, that you're totally connected, like what emotions bubble up inside you when you see that and you feel that?
Loss, you know, for just not having that for all these years, I guess. But also, you know, a kind of, I don't know. I don't know, scared, a real scared feeling, to be honest. Yeah.
When this woman is dancing with the angels, how is she feeling?
There's definitely scared there, you
Yeah,
know.
that's okay. Yeah.
Big an emotion, to be fair. But just like, she's likable. You know what I mean?
Does she like herself?
Yes, and that'll do. You know, it's not all that I love myself, because that's too big. But likable is feels nice, and it's, you know, yeah, totally.
And what does she say to herself? Like, what's her self-talk?
You're okay.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, life is okay.
yeah, yeah.
You know, yeah, it's all just okay.
That's so good. That's really powerful stuff. You know, just being okay and being happy and feeling connected and inspired, you know, is enough.
Yeah, yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Mm.
What would you say about her, like spiritually? Like, does she feel connected to life, connected to herself, connected to kind of something bigger than herself? Or what would you say on that level is happening?
Mm. I don't know. I don't know if the scared is getting in the way of that still a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Even in that, where she is connected, and she's much more connected to the angels, I guess. You know what I mean? I do feel like the scared sensation is still kind of not keeping that as open as maybe as what it would like to be. Perhaps, I don't know.
Okay, so she's feeling scared, but she's still dancing, she's still connected, she's still okay, she's liking herself, and she's in that everything's okay vibration. And actually me being okay with me is enough. Okay. All right, so in relation to where you're sitting, where does that energy of the girl dancing with angels feel to you?
Do you mean like within my body or around me, or?
Yeah, does it feel like that energy of that is to the left, the right side you, behind you, front?
In front.
All right, brilliant. Okay. And does it feel close enough or too close, or do you want to bring it closer, or is it okay where it is?
I don't know why I'm getting a sensation of when that's in the front, I feel like it's pulling me. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm having to get dragged by this dancing person a little bit. So yeah, I suppose it'd be nice to stand next to her. So we probably do need to be a little bit closer. Yeah, it's there, it's close, but it just, yeah.
Okay, so let's try this then, if it's all right with you. Just close your eyes again for me. Just want you to get a sense of that energy, and I want you to move it to a position that feels right for you. And if you said it's to the next of you, just going to ask that energy just to move to where you want her to be. Because what we want to know is that you, Joe, are making the decisions for you. It's not that energy, because you're going to feel the conflict of it. So every decision that you make from now on is going to come from you, the true self, not a projected version of you. Okay, that energy is there, and you can tap into it and call upon it anytime that you want. You've given it a name. You know exactly how it feels to be her and in that energy, and that could well be the highest version of yourself, your higher self, waiting for you to step into that. You can do that anytime you want. There's just still a little tiny bit of clearing up to do, whereby you accept that this is waiting for you and that you feel ready to move into that vibration. So when you feel that energy's moved to a place that's right for you, just take a nice deep breath and open your eyes. Okay, how does that feel now?
Yeah, feels less pulling.
Good, because that's the way it should feel. It's you in the driving seat. So now, just before we wrap it up, I'm going to just ask you to tune into this part of you that's scared, because that actually also has something beneficial to it as well. So we've always got a polar opposite. There's like a higher version, and then there's a version of us that's just niggling to keep us safe. So if it's all right with you, we'll just have a little conversation with this part of you that feels scared. It's going to feel a bit weird. It's like talking to a third party. It's just an energy, an archetype, a projection, but it'll have something to say, and it'll have something quite profound and insightful to say, and really useful to you, I think, going forward. So when you're ready, just take a nice deep breath again, and just tune in to this energy of you that feels scared. And you might feel that you want to move or position yourself just so you really step into that energy of the person that's scared. And when you've done it, and when you've got into that, just give me a nod.
Oh, I didn't need to step into it. It was easily.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, so just close your eyes, because I'm going to just talk to this energy and see what it says. So I'm just going to invite this energy now just to come forward so I can have a conversation. Joe can hear what we've got to say. So am I talking to the part of Joe that feels scared?
Yeah.
Okay, and are you male or female?
It was male.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. And how long have you been with Joe?
I suppose 11.
Okay. And can you just tell me what it's like living with Joe? Like, what is your job?
To keep her from completely fulfilling her potential.
Okay. And what's the purpose of that? What are you trying to ultimately do for Joe?
To kind of teach her that life is limiting.
Mm,
Maybe she shouldn't really reach for the limit.
yeah. Yeah. And are you doing that out of love for Joe? Are you trying to keep her safe or from harm or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's it like living with Joe? Does she listen to you?
Yeah, I would say quite a lot. Yeah.
Mm,
I think probably I've been in control for a long time and
mm,
right now maybe the last few years, but usually been yeah, she does listen.
good. Okay. So she's doing a good job for you. What is it that Joe really wants?
To not fear,
Mm,
and I keep her feared.
yeah. Yeah, I understand that. That's your job, and you're doing a really good job of it so far. How do you communicate with Joe? How does she know it's you talking to her?
Just the little voice in her head,
Mm,
don't go there, you can't do that, you won't be able to, you haven't got enough conversation, you sound stupid, just that.
mm,
Can't walk in there on your own or have a coffee,
mm,
even kinds of stuff. You can't get on those way.
mm.
Yeah. So it's a voice. It's a voice that's probably constantly there, really.
And I guess when Joe's trying to make her own decision and do her own thing, that might take her out of a comfort zone. I can imagine that you have to work a lot harder and talk a lot louder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think she listens to me quite easily, to be fair. So.
Okay. So she's very obedient. Okay.
Mm,
And did you say you've been with her since she was 11?
yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you've travelled along with her quite a long time then, haven't you? Yeah. And your main goal for her is to keep her safe and to love her, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Limit her expectations.
Limit her expectations. So she doesn't what?
Mm. Reach for the stars type of thing. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Okay. No, I totally understand that. What happened to her then? Why did you come in to her when she was 11?
Secondary school.
Yeah.
Just that's it. Nothing. No major. Nothing. Just secondary school. Yeah.
Yeah. So you stepped in when she got to secondary school, and this was to keep her expectations low, not to reach for the stars,
Mm-mm.
in case she was what?
I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Didn't get what she wanted.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Is there any message that you want to give to Joe?
Keep doing as you're told.
Well, Joe, during this conversation, has expressed to me that she does have some hopes, dreams, and wishes. And she feels that she's transitioning in life to a point where she wants to wake up. She knows she's got this other side. She's got this energy in her that wants to break free and to experience more of what she did from, say, the age of 11 till now. And Joe isn't 11 anymore. And she is capable of experiencing things and having letdowns and having highs, as we all do, go on these highs and these lows. And she wants to just dip her toe in the water and become more creative with her own life. She knows she's already doing this anyway. There's just another little piece of the puzzle that she's going to find, so she can step into her whole integrated person, this woman that she wants to blossom into. And I think you have done a great job for her, and it sounds like your aim is to keep her safe from disappointment and letdown. Now, what I would ask you to do is, if it's okay with you, is whereabout are you in Joe's life now? Do you sit on top of her, to the side of her, behind her? Where is your placement? Okay, so yeah. All right. I'm going to invite you now just to take a step to the side or a step back, just so Joe can call on you whenever she needs to feel the energy that you bring to her. Sometimes she might need to feel that she is safe and make a decision around that. But would it be okay for you just to take a step to the side so Joe is more in control of her own decisions? Would that be okay with you? Okay. So I'm just going to invite you now, and just to say thank you so much for talking with me, making yourself known, and for doing such a good job in Joe's life so far. So I'm just going to ask you now just to shift into your position, which is away from Joe. Thank you. And I'm just going to invite you now, Joe, when you're ready, just to take a nice deep breath, open your eyes, and just move your body around, just to break free from that little connection that you had there.
Oh, God.
How did that feel?
Powerful, actually. Yeah, really powerful.
So
I've got a headache, though, when you're asked
Mm.
backwards, like, it's like, no. You know, yeah.
How does it feel to be kind of separate from both of these energies that are trying to do great things for you, but just to know that you've got freedom of choice?
You just feel you just feel up front. You just feel in the lead, and that's what's quite nice, isn't it? Is when you feel in the lead. You know, it's empowering, and it gives you strength, really. Yeah.
So any time that you feel a thing coming in at the side of your head, or that other energy kind of pulling you, that's when you can go, hang on, who's this talking to me? And if it doesn't feel like it's coming from the true self, then you can just say, no, step aside, because I'm going to make the decision. It just gives you those little cues. Who is this actually?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you do become more empowered, because you know that the decision's coming from you.
It's fantastic.
Right, we're coming up to time now. I know you've got to leave. Is there anything you want to end on or ask me?
No, just that was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was. I wasn't expecting you to ask about the gender of the fear, or scared, or whatever, and that kind of was interesting just in itself. And I'm quite surprised at how easy I'm able to kind of do this stuff sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like, I do feel quite open to it, so that feels nice as well. So yeah, that's just been quite cool, actually. Yeah.
Well, I'll email you. I normally find a tapping point. I don't know if you know EFT, but it taps on the meridians to help unblock energy. I'll send you over a tapping point and a little meditation for you to listen to as well. And then, we'll just maybe make arrangements just to do a little check-in, just keep in touch, because I'd really like to see how you kind of progress forward on this, because I think you're there. You're there,
It feels like
Yeah,
I'm there
it is.
clearly.
It is.
Yeah.
I guess like the only bit I could end on maybe for you is when you're faced with something that's pushing out your comfort zone, just try and do what you said, open your heart and free your mind, then make a decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll remember that Dancing with Angels, I think.
Yeah, I love that. I'll send you those pictures as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'll let you go, my love. I'll be in touch, okay?
So much. I've really enjoyed that. It was
Good.
amazing.
Nice to meet you. Take care and I'll see you soon.